The day is June 13th, 1977, at Camp Scott Girl Scout Camp near Locust Grove, Oklahoma. Sometime in the early hours between 2 and 4 a.m., someone, or more than one person, came into the Kiowa unit, killed and molested the 3 girls who were sleeping in tent number 7. The perpetrators carried the bodies to the location about 150 yards from their tent. The 3 girls were Michelle Goose, Doris Milner, and Lori Farmer. At 6 a.m., Carla Willett, Camp Scott counselor in the Kiowa unit, discovers the bodies of 3 of her campers dead on the side of the trail while she is on the trail to the showers. By 7:30 a.m., several members of local law enforcement are present at the crime scene and the investigation begins. At approximately 10 a.m., Camp Scott is evacuated without telling the other campers why they are heading back home after only one night of summer camp. Charter buses return the girls to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they are met by their families. June 13th, 1977 was also the last day that Camp Scott was open. After nearly 50 years of hosting Girl Scouts, Camp Scott closed and they never reopened. The following day, on June 14th, 1977, the wooden floor platform of tent number 7 is airlifted to a crime lab. The floor is covered in blood. The perpetrators appear to have attempted to wipe up the blood using towels and mattresses. Against the wishes of the investigators, it is published in the press that a tennis shoe print is found outside the tent and a different print was found inside of the tent. June 15, 1977. Sid Wise, the Mays County District Attorney, is publicly outraged that the press published the information about the shoe prints. A man is arrested 7 miles north of Camp Scott. He is living in his car, he is questioned by police, and then released. The investigation turns to a ranch just west of Camp Scott owned by Tulsan Jack Schroff. Schroff had had items stolen from his cabin, which may have had a connection to the murders. June 18, 1977. Sheriff Pete Weaver announces that a murder weapon had been found. District Attorney Sid Wise and agents of the OSBI tell the press that they have no idea what Sheriff Weaver is talking about. The UPI reports that the murder weapon is a crowbar and that there are several good fingerprints on the crowbar. The tracking dogs lead investigators to some ponds on Schroff's property. The ponds are drugged, but nothing is found. At an unknown point between June 16th and June 18th, it is rumored that a local Cherokee medicine man has placed a curse on the tracking dogs and that they will all die soon. Later in the day, on June 18th, one of the tracking dogs dies from a heat stroke. And then on June 19th, 1977, the tracking dog's owner says that they have found some solid evidence and that there will be a break in the case very soon. Sid Wise tells the press that there are no suspects as of yet in this case. Sheriff Weaver announces that there is one suspect in the case. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, or the OSBI, says that there are 3 suspects in the case. Now isn't that a little confusing? Sid Wise corrects the record reporting that Sheriff Weaver was incorrect whenever he announced that he had found a possible murder weapon. Okay, what? On June 20th, 1977, in a complete reversal from the previous day's announcement, District Attorney Sid Wise publicly said that there are several suspects in the case and a mountain of evidence. It is also announced that they do have fingerprints on one of the bodies. So as you can see now, they keep tripping over each other and they don't even know what any of the evidence is. They keep saying one thing and then another, so let's just see how much more confusing this gets. Remember the Wonder Dogs and the one that passed away? Well, one of the 2 living Wonder Dogs, Harris, without explanation, just ran out into heavy traffic and was struck and killed by a car. The dog was valued between $10,000 and $20,000, which I'm not sure why they added that information, but interesting to know, I guess. And that also happened on June 20th. June 21st, 1977, Oklahoma Governor David Boren offers the help of the National Guard in the manhunt. Another suspect is added to the list. Law enforcement identifies him as only Mike. He was apparently a camper, camping alone in the area near Camp Scott. He also is believed to have stolen a hatchet and some supplies from a nearby Boy Scout camp, Camp Garland. June 22, 1977, officials announced that 2 photographs were found with 3 women pictured in them. Some officials tell the press that the photos were found near the bodies, but other officials are telling the other press outlets that the photos were found in a cave about 2 miles from Camp Scott. Sid Wise announces a media blackout because he feels the press is portraying the investigators as being involved in infighting. Now, up to this point, I haven't seen anyone actually accuse them, but it is definitely suspicious that they don't even know what they're talking about, it seems like here. They don't know what's going on. How many fingerprints are there? What's the murder weapon? I don't know. Take from it what you will. Also, on June 22nd, the forensic experts say that there is only 1 good fingerprint on one of the bodies. The other prints are smudged. The good fingerprint is picture perfect according to one source. Remember that. This 1 fingerprint is picture perfect. And now we are at June 23, 1977. Officials now disclose that the 2 photographs which were found were developed by Gene Leroy Hart while he was working in the photo lab at Granite Reformatory. A man believed to be Gene Hart is reportedly spotted near Camp Scott. This report launches a full-scale search for the suspect. On June 24, 1977, 200 members of law enforcement and 400 volunteers surrounded a 4-mile area near Camp Scott. The volunteers were not supposed to have guns, but many did anyway. Members of the American Indian movement arrive in order to monitor this, what they called a posse. June 26, 1977. Most of all the 200 lawmen who had come to this area to assist in the manhunt leave on this day. Heat-seeking instruments are used twice between June 25th and June 27th, 1977. The first time they were used, they were unsuccessful, and the second time, the heat-seeking instruments used, investigators had no success, and they blamed that lack of success on the weather. June 28, 1977. Sheriff Weaver says that there will soon be a $14,000 reward offered in this case. June 29, 1977. The Federal Bureau of Investigation moves to 40 agents into the area to help in the investigation. June 30th, 1977. Gene Hart's mother, Ella Mae Buckskin, tells the press that she regularly is being harassed and the Sheriff Weaver planted the photograph to be found and implicate her son. According to Mrs. Buckskin, Weaver is doing this because of growing pressure to have a suspect. The FBI makes the claim that they have proof that Hart was in the area during the murders. July 1st, 1977. Law enforcement leaves Camp Scott, saying that all evidence from the camp area has been gathered. July 5th, 1977. A man matching Hart's description is spotted in the search area. The tracking dogs are brought in quickly and try to track down the person. Almost as soon as the dogs pick up the scent, they lose it. July 6, 1977. The Oklahoma State Medical Examiner releases the autopsy on the 3 victims. The OSPI director, Jeff Laird, calls a press conference and announces that there are now no fingerprints on the girls' bodies. Remember earlier whenever they said they had a pristine one? Yeah, I guess now they decide that they don't. He says, what was thought to be fingerprints are not fingerprints, and he elaborates no further on the topic. He concludes the press conference with another rather unusual statement. I would say with certainty that Hart is guilty because I would not say with certainty that any person who has not yet been tried were guilty, but we do have a great deal of evidence in this case that points to his guilt. That was a little bit of a confusing read. July 14th, just a month and a day after the murders took place. The reward money totals $15,000. 2 men in Florida are encouraging Girl Scouts and Girl Scout troops around the country to donate to the reward fund. And now the timeline starts to space out a little bit more. July 29, 1977. A private security team looking after Camp Scott sees what they think is a person in the woods. After coming back from investigating, they find a pair of Denise Miller's shoes and socks, wet, in a bag and on the steps of the camp director's house. That's interesting. That's interesting. August 3rd, 1977. The Tulsa World newspaper prints a front-page plea from Oklahoma Governor David Boren. Boren said, I will use the authority of the governor's office and will take any steps necessary to assure his security and a fair trial if he will give himself up. September 22nd, 1977. Two of the families of the victims file a $3 million civil suit against the Magic Empire Girl Scout Council. October 1st, 1977. A $5,000 reward is offered for information leading to the arrest of Gene Hart. The reward is made unavailable by a group of prior residents calling themselves Drug Awareness. October 10th, 1977. Mays County Sheriff Pete Weaver announces to the press that he is confident that Gene Hart is still in the area and that he will be apprehended. He told the press, "We'll stay with it until we do catch Hart. It's investigate day and night." December 30th, 1977. Two state law enforcement agencies report that combined, they have spent in excess of $138,000 in the manhunt for Hart. Combined with the OSBI has spent $100,000 and the Department of Public Safety has spent $38,000. Not included in the figure were the expenses for the National Guard and the cost to the Mays County. A spokesperson for Governor Boren says that the state went all out and that the expense was never an option. January 28, 1978. The FBI releases some composite sketches of Gene Hart along with some aliases he is believed to have used. The sketches portray him with long hair and wearing glasses. April 6, 1978. At 4:15 p.m., a team of 8 OSBI agents, including Mike Wilkerson, Harvey Pratt, Jack Lay, Larry Bowles, Bud Osley, Kerry Thurman, Don Sharp, and Roger Crisco, storm a home in a remote area of the southeast corner of Cherokee County near Bunch, Oklahoma. The residence belonged to a man named Sam Pigeon and was located about 45 miles from Camp Scott. Hart is arrested without incident. Hart is transported directly to the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister. So one of the key factors that makes them believe that it is Hart that committed this crime is for the rapes that he committed back in 1966. They remember that he had been stealing some eyeglasses, and he also got some that were discarded from the tents in the Kiowa unit, and it was noticed by all of the arresting officers that Hart was wearing women's eyeglasses on the day that they arrested him. Well, anyway, guys, I think that is going to wrap it up for the day. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode. I sure enjoy doing it, and I really hope that y'all enjoyed it as well. See y'all next time. Good night.